Hey guys, welcome back to BackPocketGameReviews. And it's really weird that I'm doing this video today because we did a video yesterday kind of talking about a leak that I called BS on. But Nintendo announced the SNES Classic today. It's officially a thing. By the way, I'm sorry if my camera is slightly tilted. I was trying to get it as straight as I could. I had to move it for a video the other day. So the SNES Classic this time, they stated, will have more available units than what the NES Classic did. They've stated it will be discontinued by the end of 2017, so there will not be an additional allotment. Their manufacturing focus will remain on the Switch and the 3DS and 2DS product family, which it's fine, I understand that. A couple of big changes, though. So this guy's going to cost $89.99. It will have 21 preloaded games, and it's going to come with 2 controllers this time. So essentially, they're adding the extra controller to it and dropping a couple of games, but they're also adding an additional 2 feet to each one of the controller cables. So a lot of you might not know, but the NES Classic had a really short controller cable. Like, it was tiny. It was like maybe 2 feet. I think it was like 2.5 to be exact. But that's pretty huge to hear. I am really excited about that price point too. I don't think $90 is all that much for what all's in there. But I did have a couple of people post to me, rather than go through a scalper, they'd rather just buy a classic NES. And this is going to be really fun because this is something I never got to do and never did with the NES Classic, and maybe something I'll revisit. But I wanted to do this because it's very interesting for people to have that mindset. So first, we're going to give you a breakdown of what it would actually cost to buy all of this through Classic. I used GameStop's prices, just so you know. So these will be GameStop's prices when I do it. But we're going to list off all the games, and I'm going to point out a couple of notable prices of games that are included here. So out of the 21 games that are coming with the Super NES Classic, you will get Donkey Kong Country, Secret of Mana. That game's $59.99, by the way. That's a really hard game to get. You will get Final Fantasy III, which is actually Final Fantasy V, by the way, for those of you who don't know. But in America, that we didn't get the other ones, so it's Final Fantasy III. That's the one. Yeah, you'll see. Which is $49.99, $49.99. I'm sorry, for Final Fantasy III. Earthbound, which if you want a copy of Earthbound, it's $200 to get yourself a copy of Earthbound. F-Zero, Kirby Superstar, which is $44.99. Kirby's Dream Course, Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, which is $40 if you want to get a copy of that. Mega Man X, which is $40 if you want to get a copy of that. Star Fox, and here's the biggest news of all of it, Star Fox 2, which was never released. It was a game that was made, finished, never came out. It never got put out on the Super Nintendo. So this will be the first Super Nintendo game released for the console officially in a very long time. So that's kind of a huge thing that they're tossing in there with that. Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Castlevania 4, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Mario Kart, which is $34.99, by the way. Super Mario RPG, which is $44.99, by the way. Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Super Punch-Out, and Yoshi's Island. All of those games are pretty high-dollar games. And SNES, a used Super Nintendo through GameStop, is $89.99. Weird that it is the same price as the SNES Classic. I believe the SNES Classic, it's either $79.99 for the SNES Classic or it's $89.99. I think it's $79.99. I don't remember. It's one of those two prices. $10 difference, not a big deal. But to buy all of those games and a Super Nintendo, that doesn't even include a second controller for you, through GameStop, to get everything that the SNES Classic has, but buying it all through the retro style, so the cartridges and the system, would be $909.80, not including sales tax. Because someone had just said, I'd rather go that way than pay a scalper. Well, even if a scalper's selling that guy for $300, that's still $600 less than it would cost you to get all of it. Which I thought was really interesting. Let alone you can never get Star Fox 2. That's not a game you can go somewhere and actually obtain. Which shocks me that they're actually putting it on there, because that game's been talked about and rumored and everything for decades. Like, everyone's always been like, why did this never come out? Well, now you get to play it. You'll finally get to have it in your hands. The only notable title where I'm really shocked this wasn't on here is Chrono Trigger. It's not on there. I don't know. I don't know why, but I mean, I'm not going to complain. That's an amazing game lineup, and almost everything I would have asked for is on that list. There's something here for everyone, whether it be, you've got, 3 or 4 RPGs on here. You've got Mega Man. I mean, it's just such a vast collection. Even with them cutting stuff out from what because they had 30 games in the NES Classic. So that's huge. Maybe we'll revisit the NES Classic and actually do a breakdown on what it would cost you to get it all through collectible style. Obviously, you also have your other routes like a Retro Pie, but there's a certain collectible value to being able to have this. And even saying that you have an official release of Star Fox 2 is pretty cool in and of itself. So I'm going to be attempting to get one. I will tweet out the second I realize that pre-orders have gone up. I know they've already gone up and gone in Amazon for the UK. So if you wanted one in the UK and you wanted to get it through Amazon, your ship's possibly already sailed. But I thought it was huge news, and I really wanted to cover it with you guys, and I wanted to be able to talk about everything that's actually included, which the 2 controllers is nice because I never got to get a second official Nintendo controller for my NES Classic. Wanted one, never got it. So I actually have the My Arcade wireless ones, and they work really well. Way better than what the Nyko ones do. Don't buy Nyko products. You're just going to be disappointed. But, I mean, that was a lot of details, especially with the 2-foot longer cable. There's going to be more units available than what there were with the NES. It's still going to be a limited release, though. So keep in mind, if you are wanting one, pre-order it. Definitely try to get your hands on it as quickly as you possibly can. You don't want to sit around and wait till the last minute like what I did, because I probably got one of the last shipments that was sent to retail for the NES Classic. But that's huge savings from the $909.80 it would cost you to buy it all through retro gaming style through GameStop. And those prices are probably pretty comparable to what most mom and pops and collectible stores would charge you for those classic games. I mean, it's $200 alone to get Earthbound, which is redonkulous, but guys, let me know if you'll be picking one up in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And I had originally intended on another video going up today, but nah, here we are talking about good old SNES Classic. Some big news, though. But guys, I'll see you soon, and I'll have plenty more content coming for you.